Chapter 11. The Advice. The next day, Discord felt a disturbance in the force, and teleported to the front to see what was causing it. Knocking furiously on the invisible door was Sakura. "Oh, that's right," he exclaimed. "I gave you an all-access pass." Sakura shouted something, and Discord cut his ear. "What?" He pounded angrily on the wall. The Draconic chuckled. "All right." He snapped his fingers, and a hole appeared in the wall, allowing Sakura to slip through. "Thank you," she muttered. "So, what brings you here, neighbor?" Discord asked cheerfully. "Come to borrow a cup of sugar." A cup of sugar materialized in his paw. "Thank you, but the reason I came by was not for sugar, but for Fluttershy." He twaddled his fingers. "I simply want to talk. Perhaps take a walk." "Must you speak in rhyme every single time?" "Oh, great, now you got me to it. Though seriously, how do you manage that? Do you act like rehearse in the morning? There's no way you could be improvising all that. It's impressive, but..." Sakura cleared his throat. "Fluttershy." "Oh yes, she's in the garden. I've been following your advice, you see. I made her a garden, brought her all her animal friends. She hugged me afterwards." He sighed. "You wouldn't believe how great things have been going. We're even friends," she said to herself. "Not quite what I expected, but it means I'm one step closer to marrying that wonderful, beautiful..." A laugh from the zebra reminded him of her presence. He blushed and rubbed the back of his neck. Then he quickly snapped his fingers and teleported them to the garden. Pegasus was feeding the ducks. "Fluttershy," Discord called. She turned her head. "You have a visitor." She blinked in confusion. "Huh?" Discord stepped aside to reveal the zebra. Even though she and Sakura were not that close, Fluttershy was thrilled to see a familiar face and rushed to embrace her. "But I don't understand," she said as he pulled away. "I thought I wasn't allowed any visitors." Speaking of which, guys, I may have missed it, but do we see Discord ever say that? Like, all he said, like, as I recall, all he said when it came to the stipulations for him doing all of this was, 1, they never used the elements on him. 2, pot of land. 3, bride. I don't recall him ever saying, "Bride, no visitors." Like, I don't ever recall him saying that. Just, she has to live with him forever. It's kind of like, actually, the Disney Beauty and the Beast now that I think about it. Like, Beast only wanted Belle to stay there. He never said one word about, "Belle must stay here. Oh, you're not allowed to visit her. Bye." I'm just saying, sometimes when you leave things out like that, that's an obvious flaw in your contract. After all, there's no harm being neighborly. I'll leave you two alone then. After he had finished, Sakura smiled at Fluttershy. "I am glad to see that you are well, my dear. But I am afraid it's the concern of your friends that brought me here." The Pegasus gasped. "Are they all right?" "They worry for you, and I will admit I did too. And this is why you must tell. Does Discord treat you well?" "You'd be surprised at how kind he's been." She gestured to her surroundings. "Look what he's done." Sakura mused. "I told you he was not as bad, but tell me, does he make you glad?" "Oh yes, you're right. So far I've been happy, except..." She looked down, her hair falling over her eye. Sakura lifted her chin up. "What is troubling you, dear? What makes you unhappy here?" "Well," she stammered, "I miss my friends. You won't let me visit them." She sighed. "I appreciate everything he's done to make me comfortable, but..." She gazed up at the sky. "Sometimes I feel like I'm still his prisoner. There's also the fact that he..." She trailed off. Sakura raised an eyebrow. "Look." Fluttershy glanced up at her. "You won't tell anybody?" "My lips are sealed. Your secret won't be revealed." She breathed. "I think he's in love with me." She waited for Sakura's reaction, but did not look the least bit surprised. This confused her, but Fluttershy had to get all this off her chest as he hoped Discord was not listening.
Every night he asks me if I love him.
Do you?
She hesitated. I always say no. We made a deal. I will not marry him until I say yes. I thought it was just a game at first, but he's been so gentle, and every time I say no, he looks so hurt. And the way he touches me, it doesn't upset me, but
She trailed off. Sakura grinned. It is just as I had said. A yearn for love is what has led to Discord taking a bride. This he tries to hide. She called.
I suppose I could love him if he wasn't so possessive of me.
She looked at the zebra in desperation.
You understand, my friends can't know about this. They have enough to worry about. Just tell them I'm right and I'm not married yet.
That I will do, so they may not worry for you. But now I must be off, as there is a pony with a terrible cough.
Oh, goodness. Well, I don't want to keep you from your customers. I just wish...
You had more company? I understand. Though you live here comfortably, and Discord makes it so. You wish for your friends to show. She had said nothing for a while, since the car took her cue to leave, and nearly fell off the edge of the garden. Discord then appeared beside her with an awkward smile. Whoops, he said. I forgot to tell you about that. He snapped his fingers and teleported them to the ground. He knelt down and whispered to her. Did she say anything about me? She smirked. I am not at liberty to say. No, I must be on my way. Come on. Can she at least tell me if she likes me? At least, do you think she does? She sighed. These things take time, dear Draconequist. The advice I give you is this. Love is a splendid thing to feel, and only time will reveal whether it is meant to be. If you truly love something, set it free. As the zebra trudged through the forest, Discord pulled his mane. Ugh, more riddles. Now he knew he made ponies feel in the labyrinth. Discord watched from his usual hiding place in a tree as Fluttershy continued to feed the animals. Although he could finish the job with a snap of his fingers, he simply enjoyed her animal magnetism at work. She was trying to convince Angel to eat a carrot. That bunny!
Come on, Angel, she begged softly. Just a little bite.
Oh, by the way, for those of you who have been following on my brother's Discord, I'd just like to say, even with all this Discord is still more in character than the Seventh Element. The rabbit shook his head violently.
How about a teeny nibble?
He shook his head and kicked the carrot away. Fluttershy glared at him and opened her eyes as wide as she could, giving him that stare of hers. Angel was intimidated by it and swallowed his carrot whole. Amazing, Discord murmured. I think that such a pony with no magic at her disposal would possess such a power, especially one so seemingly innocent. While the stare scared most creatures, it attracted this one. The small chaotic quality of hers fascinated him, as did everything else about her. He's so close to winning his queen, he just had to step up his game. Come on. What can I do for her? Flowers? Chocolates?
How about you stop spying on me?
Discord shrieked in surprise, causing him to follow a tree. He looked up to see across Fluttershy.
Exactly how much privacy do I actually get?
The Chronicles laughed nervously. Well,
have you got nothing better to do with your time?
No, I'd rather be spending my time with you.
Then why didn't you say so?
You see, he groaned. I got nothing. He waited for a scolding, or whining, or even a stare, but she laughed instead. He looked up at her in confusion. You're not mad about me invading your privacy.
Mad? She said. Discord, this is the first time I caught you. It's a little discouraging, but I'm not mad. Besides, now you're in the clear, you can help me feed the animals.
No problem. He stood up and raised his fingers, but Fluttershy flew up and pressed her hooves against his paw, shaking her head.
I want you to feed them from your paw.
He blinked. You mean, we'll walk right up to them and expect them not to run away, to accept food from me? He threw up his hands. No offense, my dear, but count me out. I don't know if you notice, but I'm not one with nature like you. Those things will run away at the sight of me. They're smart enough to do so.
He glanced at her as she placed some acorns in his paw. Well, I think it's time we change that, don't you?
She pointed towards a group of squirrels. Discord stared at her, then at the acorns, then at the squirrels, and her again. She gestured towards the animals again, sternly narrowing her eyes. He sighed. Oh, all right. The things he did for this pony. Sighing again, he advanced towards the squirrels. All right, you little rascals. It's time. The critter squeaked as he knelt down to them and raced into a hole in the tree. Discord glanced back at Fluttershy. What did I tell you? She giggled as he glided to his side.
You need to be gentler.
She took some of the acorns from his paw.
Here, watch me.
You know I will, he thought as he floated to the tree.
Shh, she whispered. It's okay.
At the sounds of her voice, the squirrels poked their heads out.
There's nothing to be scared of. Discord's not going to hurt you.
She set the acorns down at the tree's base and snapped back. In a few seconds, the squirrels climbed down and stuffed the acorns into their mouths. Some smaller squirrels then appeared and tried to get the acorns themselves, but could not get into that pile. Fluttershy did nod towards Discord and gestured for him to kneel down. He shook his head. She narrowed her eyes and pointed her hoof commandingly at the squirrels. He shook his head again insistently. Fluttershy gritted her teeth and stuck her hoof back into his shoulders, urging him to kneel. He shook his head once more, this time violently. Fluttershy could not control her stare and angrily used him. He simply smirked and waved it off. She had turned away from him and sniffed. This caught Discord's attention. He peered over at her face and saw tears forming her eyes. Oh, please don't. She didn't face him, shooting those glassy blue green eyes at him. Unlike a stare, this look offended him tremendously. He grunted and knelt down to the squirrels, causing Fluttershy to smile. The squirrel sniffed at the sight of them, but did not run away immediately. He stuck out his paw, showing them the acorns inside. Then he stared at the treats and then at him. Discord rolled his eyes. They're not poisoned, if that's what you're thinking. Fluttershy put her hoof on his paw and gently pushed downward, signaling for him to set the acorns on the ground. He did so, and the squirrels shook him and fled. There, Discord stated bluntly. I fed them. May I go now?
Oh, no, you don't, mister, Fluttershy insisted. There are plenty more animals that need feeding.
He stamped his hoof. Oh, come on. Can't I just snap my fingers? It'll make this job easier.
No, no magic. You have to learn to be kind to animals.
I'm the Lord of Chaos. I don't have to be kind to anything.
Please, Discord.
Why should I? He trailed off as she gently took his paw and stared with those pleading eyes.
For me?
Oh, those eyes. He grunted. Fine, but you owe me for this. She grinned and gave him a handful of birdseed and pointed to a flock of birds pecking at the ground. Discord gulped and made his attempt. They flew further away with every step he took towards them. He was about to give up when Fluttershy flew down to him, took a small amount of seed out of his paw, and into the ground in front of him. One bird pecked at the seed cautiously, then flew to Discord's hand to get the rest. Then the Quackers widened his eyes and looked at the Pegasus.
See?
She said,
all you had to do was show them they could trust you.
He glanced down more at the birds that haunted his hands. Well, they shouldn't. I could squash them with one clap of my hands, you know.
You wouldn't do that.
And why wouldn't I?
Because if you do so, I'll never speak to you again.
This caused him to shout, what? His outburst frightened the birds off of him, and he dropped what was left of the birdseed. Now see here, Pegasus. You can't boss Discord around like this. I make the rules around here. Are you trying to make a fool of me? He paused as one of the birds returned to land on his head. Get off of me, he bellowed, scaring away. Fluttershy laughed, which made Discord soften a bit. He reflected what just happened and started laughing himself. I looked ridiculous, didn't I? She shook her head.
No, it was cute.
He blinked at her. Cute?
Does that offend you?
No, it's just that. He glanced down at his feet. No pony's called me cute before. He would never admit this out loud, but he kind of liked it. She forced him to feed the rest of the animals. Discord was beginning to question his pride. Here he was, offering food to fluffy creatures, all to please one measly pony. Had he really gone from being the Lord of Chaos to a sappy pushover? These thoughts running through his head, and the fluffy little creatures pawing him, made him want to explode. But one glance at the Pegasus' sleek, beautiful face calmed him down every time. When they were finished, Fluttershy gave Discord a hug, which literally tied his stomach into knots. He had to subtly snap his tail feathers to untie them.
Thank you, Discord, she said. You were a big help.
She started to pull away, but he wrapped his arms around her and held her a while longer. Fluttershy blinked up at him.
You can let me go now, Discord. Discord?
All right. But first, my dear, you have to pay up. She tilted her head.
Pay up?
Crossed his arms. You forced me into feeding those creatures. Now, you have to do something for me. She stared down and then shrugged.
I suppose that's fair. What do you want me to do?
Discord thought for a moment, then smugly smiled at her. Would you sing for me, dear?
Sing?
He coiled himself around her. I simply love the sound of your voice.
Oh, but I can't sing.
Don't be ridiculous. You're magnificent at the gala.
But not while you're watching.
Come now, dear. It's only me. Just this once. I'll never ask you again.
I'm not prepared.
Don't talk. Sing.
Well, what song should I
sing?
I don't really.
You owe me. Fluttershy gulped as he leaned towards her. No need for you to be nervous at Fluttershy. I won't laugh at you. Ziggy quietly began to sing.
Hush now, quiet now, time to lay your sleepy head. Hush now, quiet now, time to go to bed.
Discord interrupted. Don't sing a lullaby. It makes me sleepy.
Sorry, but I'm not sure what to...
Sing that song you sang at the gala. That was rather good. Coughing once more, she sang again. She was startled when backup vocals came from nowhere. She turned to see the birds singing in actual words, and more confused when music started playing. She looked at Discord and gave her a wink. As he continued to sing, Fluttershy became more confident. Discord watched in awe, his ears taking in that melodious voice of hers. She could not understand why a sound like that would be so alluring to him. In fact, why everything about this pony allured him. Before him stood what he thought to be the embodiment of perfection, not to mention one of the elements of harmony. Aside from the stairs, he had nothing to do with chaos. Maybe that's why he found her so interesting, because there were chaotic features, such as wanting to be uncovered. That, and the fact that she was nothing like him in character. During the instrumental, Discord made a bold move and tapped Fluttershy in the shoulder. He held out his claw. After staring at it for a while, she slowly took it. He let her hover over her head and swirled her around, pulled her in and led to dance. Fluttershy thought back to when he had done this at the Grand Gallopy Gala. The dance had been forceful. And while this one moved at a slower pace, it was gentler. She felt like they were dancing on air, which was essentially true, but since they were hovering above the ground. As the birds sang the bridge, Discord twirled her faster. Fluttershy was getting so dizzy, even though there was nothing to trip over, she stumbled. Discord caught her in a dip just as the birds had sung, "Can any pony find me?" Then everything was silent. She opened her eyes, meeting his, and absolutely fizzed the line, "Some pony to love." Music started up again, the birds continued. "Find me some pony to love." The two were locked in each other's gaze for a while. Discord slowly brought her up to eye level. He gently brushed her mane back so he could get a better look at her face. Before either knew it, the distance between them was decreasing as he pulled her nearer to him and they closed their eyes. The lips were only inches away. When Fluttershy opened her eyes again and realized what was happening, she gently pushed his face away and laughed awkwardly. Discord opened his eyes and gave an equally embarrassed laugh. Fluttershy removed his hands from her body and held them in front of her.
"Are we even?"
Oh yeah, that was lovely. Stared at each other awkwardly for a while until Fluttershy rubbed her arm.
I had to go to the bathroom."
Discord watched her fly away and sighed sadly. That night, he did not bother asking the question.